I was like, wait, I want to like look like what I think this music looks like. Does that make sense? I was like picturing myself, and I was like, it's
total sense.
not a boy. Also, like, I'm trying to be like fun and cute with my lyrics, but also like I'm at a place right now, at least for now, where I'm like, no, I'm just gonna say exactly what I feel. I think as a trans artist, I always feel like I have a lot to prove. And I think that's the same, like, I feel like that's a common feeling that women in any industry really have, is like you have to work kind of twice as hard. Like, for example,
welcome to the I Feel You vodcast. I am your host, Eddie Wise, and on this episode, I had the pleasure of speaking to Mel 4Ever. Mel 4Ever is a self-titled tranny pop star who is revolutionizing the hyperpunk genre. Her debut EP, Tranic Attack, put her on the map as a knockout songwriter, tackling everything from sobriety to the abuse and trauma of growing up in Alabama. Her no-holds-barred performance style captivates audiences, so make sure to go listen to her new single, Go Bitch, and also go and support one of her upcoming shows. On this episode, we speak on being curious in your day-to-day life, tackling the music industry as a trans artist, and we also talk about how JK Rowling inspired her new project. Please consider subscribing if you enjoy the content that you're watching. Also, hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we do release another episode. And without further ado, enjoy. Hey, Mel.
hey,
Mel, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah. Are you excited to be here? How you feeling?
I'm excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else?
Mostly.
Mostly.
I've never done a vodcast before.
Oh, that's very kind of you to use the actual. It's a new thing that I'm trying to coin. I'm sure nobody else is doing
Wait,
this.
really? You made that up?
No, I don't think I made it up. I was writing it and I was like, I don't think this is something I made up, but I don't see anybody using it, so I'm gonna use it.
This reminds me, I'm having my Julia Fox moment.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Are you gonna say what did she say?
Uncut gems. No, I could never. I could never. That's only for her to say and no one else.
That's a great clip. We just watched that clip the other day. I don't know why it came up in conversation.
What show was that on?
I actually don't know. It was around the time she was dating Kanye.
Same.
And it was like the big thing where it was like she was like talking about how she's his muse.
That's what.
Yeah.
No, she was Josh Safdie's muse.
She was Josh Safdie's muse.
That's something I wanted to say on this podcast, is that I'm also dating Kanye West.
That's incredible. You heard it here first. Breaking news. Alert the presses. So one, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
I'm scared of what I'm gonna say.
Why? Why are you scared?
Because I'm crazy.
That's true. Listen, this is the place for any kind of vibe. So whatever you want to say, just say it here. We have the luxury of cutting it out. So if it's too, if you don't want it to be
we're keeping it all.
Okay, we're keeping everything.
Yeah.
So if you see a cut, that means she lied. Okay.
I lied. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong camera.
You're looking at the one that's like
not pointed at me.
That's really funny. Okay, so your artist name is Mel 4Ever, right?
Yeah.
Mel 4. Where did that come from?
So I made it up.
Okay.
I was thinking of like, I don't know. I didn't know. Well, okay. So at the time of my I've been doing this. I've been performing and making and releasing music for like a year and a half now. Yeah. And I didn't know if I wanted my actual name or a moniker or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I also at the time I didn't have a full name yet because my transition was very new. Yeah. But I knew that I was Mel, but I didn't know that I didn't have a last name because at the time I wasn't talking to my parents. So there was this whole shitty situation happening.
For sure. But
I was just typing things out, seeing what was cute, and I really don't like the Y2K moment, but and I was I just don't want a Y2K name, and that's kind of exactly what I came up with. It's an AIM screen name.
Just a little bit, yeah.
I'm not Y2K, but I was texting my friend Tor Miller, who's my co-creator, co-writer. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I just was texting him and being like, what if it was like forever? And then I like spelled out forever. And then he was like, I like 4Ever with the number. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's just use that.
Let's do it.
Yeah. It was like and then like I was kind of like, oh, that's cute. Cause I have been Mel 4Ever. Like I've been her for forever.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of like like a spell if you want. So it's like future forever and past forever. So like I've been Mel forever, and like my legacy shall lead on for forever as well. But like that's like the meaning that I found in it. But at the time I was stressed and had to come up with a name.
That's honest. I love that because I feel like most people would just say like, oh yeah, it came to me in a dream and it was like perfect in every way. And
other things have come to me in dreams, okay, but cool. Not that.
Get there. But yeah, no, I appreciate the honesty because oftentimes, I mean, I feel like when you're just going through the motions of creating, you kind of just it's important to trust your instinct and just kind of like go with whatever comes out.
Yeah.
And obviously it's working out, I would say, probably.
Yeah.
You talked about how recent your music was and how you just started this thing. And it was 2021 that you released Tranic Attack, right? The EP. So there's a few singles and then you had your... I love the name, by the way.
Thank you.
It's fucking great. And you released that EP and then, I mean... when it comes to making music, it's all very new. What led you to music and kind of how did you get there? And then if you have any musical influences that guided you to make what you make now.
Yeah, so many people ask that question, and I'm truthful every time, and like it's starting to become embarrassing because the people that influence me are starting to like literally know who I am, and I'm like, I'm so sorry I keep mentioning you in interviews, but
it's true. It's true.
Anyway, so basically COVID started. I call myself a COVID tranny and a COVID musician.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe you can bleep that out. But it's true. I am a COVID tranny and COVID musician and COVID artist. Like, before COVID happened, I was giving like twink boy, I was giving some version of that. Like, and I was drunk all the time and like TTing in people's beds.
And this is pre-COVID, you said, right?
Okay. It was like a huge fucking mess. I had no direction. It was like I was like really depressed, like suicidal. Like it was a dark time. Wow. And then like COVID happened, which is like perfect timing. Like in my head, I was like, oh fuck, I'm screwed. Yeah. But I ended up getting sober around that time. Wow. So I stopped drinking, which was really important for me. Like I was like, okay, wait, I like don't want to kill myself anymore. Okay, wait, yay! And then once I was like sober for a little bit, I was like, oh shit, I'm trans too. Oh, that like thought that's been in the back of my mind for like 2 decades is something that I'm gonna have to take action on. So then I started my transition, and then so it's like brand new like sobriety journey plus transitioning kind of led me to this place of like, it was like euphoric but also like very like just like panicky. Like I was like freaking out. Yeah. And some of it was good freak out, some of it was bad freak out. And it's like a scary thing to stop drinking and like kind of like rely on like whatever sense of self you have left. Yeah. Because I started drinking when I was 12.
Wow. That's young.
She loved grandpa's old cough medicine, if you will.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like literally cough medicine too. I would chug NyQuil, like a bottle of NyQuil, and then go out and be like, what's going to happen?
And just like a roulette. Just like let it. Wow. That's so
always roulette. But anyway, so I was like, okay, fuck. I have to like, it was like a life or death situation of me like expressing myself, I would say. Like, I was like, I just felt these like really intense like contractions, like spiritually speaking. I was like, oh my God, I'm miserable. Like I have to like I need to get it out. Yeah. So then I started writing what I didn't even know they were songs at the time. Like I was walking around my apartment going, big tits to match my ass, big tits to match my ass. And then I was like, wait, that's so funny. And so like I just kind of like wrote out this like little rap. And then I was like, oh, that would be so weird if I like recorded this and made it like a full thing. Yeah. And then I texted my friend Tor Miller, and I was like, "Hey, do you know anyone like that where I could go and record this? Like, where should I record?" And he set me up with my friend Jack Hoffman, and then like within a month, I like had this song, and I was like, "Oh, cute! Wait, this is so fun!" So then I released it, and like all this kind of just happened as an accident.
Yeah.
It was like an intentional creative expression where like I really, really needed to do it, but I didn't. In the back of my mind, I was not like, "Ooh, I'm gonna be like a pop star. I'm gonna be a rock star." Like, ha ha ha. Like that was not. I was like, that will never happen. So like, let me just do this, and then like within like a month of releasing that song, I had like my first show, which sold out, which was like also very weird.
Pianos, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love pianos.
It was fucking sick, and like I was throwing up on the street before because I'd never performed.
Was it nervous?
I was so nervous.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like puking, and then I like performed, and then after that performance, like everything shifted, and I was like, I can never like not do that again. Like I have to keep doing that, and so like here we are.
That is so cool. What were you doing before? Like, what as a person? Like, did you have a career? Did you like want to do creative?
Zero
stuff?
career.
Like, what did you do?
I had zero career.
Yeah.
I just had odd jobs. So I was doing tech sales at one point, like cold calling 300 people a day kind of vibes. And then I worked at a hotel.
Nice.
And then I worked in restaurants and like hospitality.
Cool.
So like that was kind of like my vibe because I just was like, I don't know what I want to do. And I'm so young. Like I have nothing to figure out. And then... So, yeah, I mean, it was all really a blur because I was drunk a lot.
Yeah, that's...
And on drugs.
Also fair, yeah. Wow. It's a great story just because the way you talk about the experience and how quickly it happened, it really does feel like it was natural. You know, everything that happened in that time. And it felt like everything kind of came to you in a way. Yeah. And you didn't... doesn't seem like you tried to force anything. Like you just asked questions, you were curious, you were like, why this, or why do I feel this way, or what can I do with this? And along the way you just had things happen and you were like, okay, this is like cool, this is great. Yeah, I relate heavily to the experience of performing and being on stage. I was like super normal kid in high school. Where'd you grow up? I was going to go to the military, Orlando, Florida.
I'm from Alabama.
I'm from Alabama. Yeah. So probably pretty similar. So I was like it just didn't do anything. I was probably going to go to the military, and I didn't have any kind of like plans. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I want to do. I wanted to be an engineer at one point, but I was like, I hate math. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then one day, I just decided to do some tech for a theater production. So I was like a techie in the back. And I saw this show that was like, it was a musical, and I had never seen anything like that before. I didn't know musicals existed. It was In the Heights.
Oh my God.
As a Puerto Rican kid, seeing hip hop on stage, dancing, this like music that I know, these kids performing that look like me, I was like, I didn't even know this existed. And now suddenly like I'm here watching this, and I'm like, this is cool as fuck. And then I performed it, and I was like, this is like the best feeling ever. So I relate heavily to that experience of doing it. It's okay, you can do it. It's okay. It's okay. It's all good.
Okay, that's amazing.
No signs, so it's no smoke. You can smoke. It's okay. But yeah, so I'm glad you shared that with me because it sounds familiar in some ways. Yeah,
that's so cool. I remember seeing In the Heights for the first time too, and it being pretty impactful. Yeah,
it's a cool music. Do you like musicals? Or is it kind of passive or?
I'm fucking obsessed.
Nice.
Yes. It's like, I'm like the Alabama version of like musical. Like it's like I only got the big ones when I was growing up there. I mean, so like I don't know like all of like the fun like niche like musicals. Like it's giving like Wicked and Rent.
Yeah, there you go. Like and Hairspray.
Yeah, of course.
Have you ever heard of one called White Christmas?
No.
That's a fun little cute one.
She didn't make it down there into Alabama.
No, yeah. Which is surprising. It's a great. I feel like that's an Alabama banger right there. Alabama banger right there.
Alabama banger. Alabama. That's my new song.
That's there. I can't wait to hear it. You had a 5-year goal.
Yeah.
When you first started making music.
Yeah.
And can you tell me what that 5-year goal was?
Yeah, this is where I keep mentioning the same
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, I haven't heard it before.
She's gonna
And
like
neither
block
of these
me
people.
on Instagram. Please don't. Anyway, yeah, so so this is kind of like my my big inspo. So during like right before COVID happened and I was like drinking heavily, I became like I have an extremely obsessive personality. Like I become like I don't just like listen to songs. I like press repeat, and it's like if I find a song that I like, I will listen to it, only that song, for like 5 days straight, and it's like all day every day. Like right now I am only listening to Prada by Arca, like only.
That's wild.
It's like, I don't know. Anyway, so that's what happened with me and Slater. Yeah. I discovered her music in 2018, and something about it just like went straight down into my psyche.
Yeah.
Like it was just like lightning in a bottle. It was like, I don't know. Like I heard the song BFF and I was like, wait. And then I heard the song Candy, and like within those two songs, I was like done. I was like, whatever this is my gender. Like this shit, it's awesome. Like hypersexual, hyperfemme, like slutty, and like the production was Aisha Erotica, who is like also a huge inspo. Like it was just like it was like a cosmic shift for me. Like it was really intense.
It sounds
and like
it.
I like changed my profile like I changed my profile picture to like a pic of her. I'd message her every single day. I've since deleted these messages, but I have them all screenshotted because they're like, it's a time capsule, and maybe I'll show her one day. But I was like, can I be your assistant? And or I'd be like, hey, just like, hey. Like I was so obsessed with her. And then it was like this inspiration. Like I would listen to her music and I would like think of like my future self. I was like, wait, I want to like look like what I think this music looks like. Does that make sense? I was like picturing myself, and I was like, it's not a boy. Yeah. It's like I'm picturing myself like, and I like kind of like used her discography to like.
You are a Slater record.
Yeah, to kind of like come up with like my version of femininity, which I then grew into. So it was very, very important for me. Wow. And also like her vocal performances and things like that. Like it wasn't like the top 40 that I grew up on, and at the time I was really only listening to like rock at the time, or like indie rock or pop rock or whatever. Like I was only listening to Arctic Monkeys, like Cage the Elephant, Black Keys, and shit like that. So like it was just a huge turn for me. Huge, yeah. And then anyway, I was obsessed with her, long story short. And then once I started writing and performing, I was like, oh my god, how sick would it be to open for her? Like I'm so like obsessed, like it was crazy. And then yeah, so I started in September, and then by the following June, so that's like 6 plus like 9, 3, or no, 10.
I think it's around 10 months.
10 months. I opened for her at Wynwood Pride, and then a second time like a couple weeks later at Sweet Spot Baltimore Pride plug. Yeah,
so cool. And that was your 5-year goal, and you just did it in 10 months.
Yes,
that's really cool.
But now I'm like,
what do I do?
Yeah, I was like, wait, I don't have another one. Oh shit.
Do you have another one?
Maybe just like recognition from Spotify. Because those girls are not helping me. The streaming algorithm is basically telling me to shut up. Jeez, or at least that's how I'm interpreting it. That's what it feels like. So like I think my goals right now are to like just, I don't know, like I'm not a friend with the algorithm. Like all my shit is like dick and titties and like really explicit lyrics. So like it's not like, I don't know, it may be a little too like, I just feel like my existence is really explicit no matter what. So it's like, I don't know,
it's a tough path. I think that I mean, I guess it depends on where you kind of like reside in terms of your popular or like what you do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why people loved places like SoundCloud back in the day. And
Yeah.
the whole internet was kind of pretty avant-garde, and kind of people like I think Slater actually came up on SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm.
But you can kind of do whatever you want. And
Yeah.
if people really enjoyed it, they can, they'll see it, right? And they'll
Yeah.
follow. And I think it's about getting like a dedicated fan base, which is, of course, the hard part. I think the good thing about your, like, what you're going to do and what your algorithm will do for you is that you won't need the algorithm, and you'll have fans that look out to, share what you do, and will actually be will have notifications on when you drop stuff, and actually care about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that virality can't really give you. There's a lot of viral shit out there. A lot of people are viral in terms of what they do, but we see it every day that you get viral and then you have no fans because you were a moment, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to be just a moment. If you want to extend it, you have to have a dedicated fan base that kind of sticks with you throughout that. And I think what you're doing right now is you're building that. I think it's going to be hard for a while just because of what you do specifically. Like you said, Spotify's, they're not going to cater to you. Instagram's probably not going to be like, share this with everyone, right?
Yeah.
But
Instagram hates me.
I'm sure they do. I mean, they hate most people, but like, I'm sure they really don't. Yeah, I'm sure
they don't fuck with her.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I think the best part of like all of this is like actual connection with people.
Yeah.
And like I had a show at TVI a couple of like last weekend, and I got naked and poured blood all over myself, and I literally watched this person like lose their mind, and like they were like vibrating and shaking, and they like were trying to scream but they couldn't because they were so excited.
Oh my gosh.
And that was just like this like last, like I've thought about it like since, obviously, a ton, and I was like, that like made the stress of like that month kind of like worth it for me, because I was like, fuck yeah, like this kid obviously just like shot themselves. so I was like, fuck yeah. And like I remember being in a crowd and being like, holy fucking shit, like I have to do that too, kind of vibe.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too. I mean, when it comes to my the shows that I go to, and the circles that I am in when it comes to like local artists and people that are up and coming, I go to so many shows, and every time it's like people are just afraid to do anything. People are so afraid to dance or like enjoy music or show that they care about something or interact. And I think that's one thing that a few of your messages, like things that you've said or things that you do, it's pretty impactful for me, because you basically allow yourself to do what you do on stage and the way you perform, and it kind of invites people to feel more free to kind of do whatever they want, because they're not the like all the attention is kind of away from them. They can feel more free to kind of enjoy themselves and dance and strip if they want to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I really love that, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And it's very fresh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But that's like kind of like the crux of like my performance style, which like also like it just kind of happened naturally, because I remember I went to a lot of live shows and like concerts growing up, and even into my adulthood. They're like my favorite thing. I fucking love it, and I love when the girl comes out or the person or whatever. I love pop stars, but like I love when like the big moment comes out and you see the artist for the first time. It's like,
yeah.
And then it's like, I don't know, I've just felt like I couldn't let go so many times as like an audience member, because I was like, who's looking at me? Like, am I sucking in enough? Like, do I have abs? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
And that, like, I feel like I missed out on a lot because I wasn't able to like let go and like fully go off for this like bitch that I love. So now I'm like, my fucking dick and tits are out. Like, you can move, like you can dance, like you can lose your mind for a little bit.
You have no reason to not.
Yeah, it's just kind of like inviting the audience to participate in like whatever way they feel comfortable, and just kind of like let go for a moment.
Yeah, which is beautiful. I think that's what music is for, and just artistry and creativity. It's beautiful. So I'm glad that's a part of your mission. I do want to transition a little bit.
Okay.
I want to move into I want to move into talking about the industry, because you talked a little bit about the algorithm and how you kind of feel like some things flow against you, and you know you're not getting the most help when it comes to some of these like Spotify and Instagram and stuff. The music industry in general, I think that, you know, I want to talk about some relevant issues within that, because you know there are a lot of things happening, and a really big wave since the pandemic of, you know, people coming out, and you know, more trans artists coming into the fold, and people being more willing to be free. I think there's been kind of also a pretty heavy pushback,
yeah,
especially in industries, within creative industries. I have a study. I'm gonna throw some stats at you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
You don't have to, like, you know.
Let's do it.
I want to hear, you know, your opinion.
Okay.
I'm just gonna read off of the page. There is an expansive survey regarding gender equality in the music industry, and it showed about 60% of industry professionals perceive that discrimination occurs. So throughout the entire music industry, about 60 of the people that were surveyed perceive that. Non-binary individuals are 200% more likely. Transgender individuals are 250% more likely to report being told that their gender is not a good fit for the job, which is pretty wild. I mean, what are your thoughts on industry misogyny? And also, like, I mean, yeah, what are your thoughts on that? And how can we kind of get away from the, as a trans woman, how can we get away from all of that kind of stuff? And I guess, what do people need to see? I don't even know how to, there's so many things to tackle in that one survey, but I guess, what are your feelings about that? And have you had any personal experiences?
Yeah, I think everyone needs to get their like fucking heads out of their ass, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
I'm sure it's so annoying to talk about, but
I'll just speak from my own experience.
Oh, for sure, please.
And not like do general like sweeping whatevers. I think as a trans artist, I always feel like I have a lot to prove. And I think that's the same, like, I feel like that's a common feeling that women in any industry really have, is like you have to work kind of twice as hard. Like, for example, I'm just like out here trying to get playlisted because I just like want people to like, I want to like expand and like, you know,
you want to grow.
But I like get ignored a lot. And it's like, maybe because they don't like it, or I don't know what the reason is, but I know that I've been fucking this dude and his band, they got playlisted with their first single.
Wow.
And it's like an army of hot guys, and their music's good. Like, don't get me wrong, it's cute, loves it.
Sure. Yeah.
And he's really cute and really sweet, but I'm like, how the fuck did y'all get playlisted? And he's like, oh, we just submitted our song. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it's like, I think that like I have some stuff up against me for like being a trans artist, but like not even because I'm trans, but because of what I have to say, which is like explicit to some, and it's like meant to be uncomfortable because I'm trying to unearth some feelings in people and like turn over some stones.
Yeah.
And it's not only because I'm trans that this is hard, but I think my trans identity does inform so much of what I do, say, and act like and perform.
For sure.
So I don't know. It's like I also feel like, I mean, things are like changing slowly, but I never really like, I don't know. It's so weird. Like I'm on stage and like I like use my body a lot to evoke things out of other people. Yeah. And another reason why I do that is because like it's to like kind of invite the audience member to participate in the experience, but it's also like an exercise in for myself. It's like just to accept where my body is at that moment in that time, because like I can like, I'll see pictures of myself from on stage and I don't have like stockings and like a huge costume to like hide my body. It's like all bare. So like my body like moves and morphs and like sags and is fat in some places and like my like ass and thighs and then not in other places. And it's like, I'm just like, I can judge myself because I'm like, well, if I'm a girl pop star, I need to be like I need to like give Miley Cyrus Pilates body. Yeah. But it's like, it's a reminder to myself that like I like that may not be achievable for me. I'm not certainly not trying to do that, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like pressure with like body and looks, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, wait, what was the question?
That's okay. No, I'm glad. This is we started by talking a little bit about the music industry itself.
Oh, statistics.
How kind of like people feel there's a good amount, like a ton of discrimination, especially within the music industry, and how, you know, people from the LGBTQ plus communities feel that even more so than anybody else does. So just in general, the things that you commented on, I feel like they all relate in a lot of ways, because the music industry kind of informs a lot of the way that people think and act within the industry. Like and it's hard to talk in general, because who are these people that we're even talking about, right?
Well, I know some of them.
But exactly. So, but they do exist, right?
Okay, so like there's like I'll keep everything so I don't get in trouble with my manager.
Please don't. Yeah.
But like there's somebody who's in charge of like a playlist that's like for all intents and purposes like a queer playlist. Yeah. Let's just say that, and they are like literally a white cis girl. I'm like, how the fuck are you gatekeeping? I hate using that word, but I'm like, I don't know what else to call it. Like
it's incribly important. No,
how are you like deciding who goes on this fucking playlist and gets this exposure? Sure. It's like, are we having to like suck on your ass for this? What the fuck, dude? And really, I'm so new to it all, and I'm just now realizing, I'm like, oh my god, like there's like actual like, it's like weird, because it's, if I was a car, every car I try and pass, for some reason, there's always like this like white dude behind the wheel. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like this girl who's like the playlist editor, probably she's reporting to like a fucking like old white man who's like, she doesn't want to get in trouble because this old white dude is like guitar and like raw vocals or whatever, instead of like beep 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 beep, like and like pitched vocals and like scary shit. So
yeah, exactly.
It's like it can trickles all the way up, and you just kind of like see like all of these like companies, industries, or whatever, like are like kind of like puppeteered by people who are not artists for the most part.
That's probably one of the biggest things.
They aren't artists, and they aren't like they want to make money,
for sure.
So it's like all about money. It's all about like how can they like make sure that everyone's gonna get fucking paid under them, and how are they gonna make sure that they get paid more than everyone else? So it's like everyone is trying to do that, and like I would say, like, let's say like a song of mine goes viral, no shit, my song's gonna be on that fucking playlist, because then people will like, I don't know how, but somehow make money off of it. But instead of like honoring like creativity and art, and like inviting new people into the conversation, and kind of like muddying the waters of what is like genre bending or not, it's kind of like people are, no one wants to take that risk, I think.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the big thing, is the risk.
And like it's bullshit, it's lame, it's a snooze, tomato, boo, like it's fucking lame.
It is lame. I mean, I hear this a lot, especially with Spotify. It's sad when something gets so big that you can't really address it. You know, you can't really, I mean, you can, but it's really difficult. I think it's going to be something that we have to work towards and, work on over time. I mean, another part of the survey, it showed that LGBTQ plus individuals often face unsafe work environments which impact their lives and careers. 1 in 4 reported feeling unable or unsafe to disclose their sexual orientation or gender identity in the workplace to prevent dealing with heightened discrimination. Making matters worse, 42% of transgender individuals in the industry report being sexually harassed or abused at work, and that's 110% more than average.
Is that in the music industry or like
in the music industry specifically?
Yeah, discrimination and sexual harassment, like it's literally everywhere. Yeah. So that's not that surprising. And like even in my like hospitality jobs, like I was like harassed and assaulted like countless times. And like, again, it's all about money. Like, it's like the owner of that club isn't gonna like go and like, I don't know, like it's easier to shut me up and like fire a bunch of people and then onboard and then like do all that stuff. So I think it gets overlooked a lot of times because it's all money. Like, it's so fucking annoying. But also like being like trans or queer in any work environment, like it's a really tricky place to be, especially I have no experience being queer in corporate America, so I don't really I can't speak to that experience, but I know from my queerness and a lot of other people, whether they're in corporate America or not, there's a line of like assimilation or no or not. And I'm not like into the assimilation moment. But like those people also want to provide for themselves and create a life, so like I don't know,
difficult.
It's like I don't know. It's people get shut up and it's just like, I don't know.
It's pretty tough. And I don't, wow. it's super difficult. And I think that it relates a lot to just the life of a creative as well. I think that especially in the New York City nightlife scene, I feel like there's this dichotomy between trying to survive and then also trying to pursue your dreams at the same time. And I do feel like it's difficult in a lot of ways to just be open and be yourself and be exactly who you want to be on stage, but also trying to like make a living. Because you talk about corporate America and what it's like to live as a person in this environment. I think music industry, of course, is a massive part of that. And what it means to kind of tackle that, and because when you're creative, it's oftentimes it's a little more progressive. You know, creative people are oftentimes more open about a lot of things, and the creatives always have to kind of we have to interact with the people that are about the business. Yeah, because that's just kind of the way things are right now. And it's a very specific type of people. It's a group of people. There's, like you kept saying, there's an incentive to that. There's a money incentive there. And I think that oftentimes it stifles personality, and it stifles kind of creativity and being open, because we have to survive. And you have to live off of this kind of stuff. And if you are a trans artist like yourself and you're doing something that's very challenging, and it's a lot of people are going to question what you're doing and even attack it, it's difficult when that is your dream, when what you're doing is all you want to do. Yeah. And imagine, you know, I'm sure you've struggled with this a ton, but you know, imagine doing all of that and then also trying to make money off of that, right? And kind of live a life. Do you have like this is like I'm sure this is a question that you might not have an answer to right now, because not everybody does, but like, what can we do to kind of get away from that, get away from misogyny, or like even the fetishization of trans women? It's big.
Oh my god, fuck. Okay. Well, what do I say to that? Well, okay,
it's a big problem, so
putting the hair up for that one. So, like, I think everyone should start sucking dick, first of all, and eating pussy. Okay. Like, I think that's a good place to start. Like, start questioning your gender. Like, how do you know you're a man? How do you know you're a woman? Have you thought about that? What if you're neither? I think those are important questions for everyone. I think like exploring your like sexuality is really important too. I think people need to stop being so fucking afraid. Just because you're a straight guy and you suck dick doesn't mean you're gay. I know that these are not like about misogyny per se, but it's like, these are just questions that I am like thrown with. Like, I'm like, I don't know. Like,
no, I hear you, because it's those are questions that aren't frequently asked by anyone.
Well, I think like, let's say there's like a corporate executive and like they like, how are you going to like make the music industry / world like a bigger, more expansive, like beautiful place, if you go home and you can't look at yourself in the mirror and you aren't honest with yourself, like your ass is definitely showing up to work like with your Starbucks and you're like, fuck this shit, like beep 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 beep. And it's like, I don't know, I think I'm more informed to be in charge of every institution.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I don't know, like people are just fucking lame. Yeah. And a lot of people are not lame. I feel like I'm being so negative.
No, you're not.
But
it's a difficult topic. I threw the stats out that were negative, so that's my fault.
Basically, like, wait, what was the question again?
I think a big thing. We were talking about how do we get away from these kinds of like things.
Oh yeah, no, I think everyone should like suck dick and pussy.
Be more curious, I think, is the big thing, because curiosity is something that is often lost and often not talked about when it comes to success, when it comes to being a successful individual, person, a human. Curiosity is kind of is pushed away oftentimes when you're a child. It's not really something that's invited. It's something that's kind of like pushed down, and especially in growing up in religious institutions and just the education system in general. It's not about curiosity. You're given the information that you need to know, and asking questions isn't something that is common. And I think that at the core of what you're speaking on, a big part of it is being curious. And I think a lot of your personality and a lot of what you do now is because at some point in time you were invited to be curious. Yeah. And one thing that I hear is one person that I know that said this, and it kind of changed my perspective on a lot of those people that that don't understand this world. There are a lot of hateful people that exist, but a lot of them only have that kind of hatred because they've never met a person that they hate. Yeah. So if you could probably find the most like toxically masculine, trans hating, LGBTQ hating person that lives in the middle of nowhere, and if you introduce them to a trans person who is just a person, like they're not anything that they're being told that they are, they're not they're not satanic or they're not out to get everyone's kids. It's not like, once you meet that person, I feel like there's something that happens there. It kind of clicks in their head. It's like, oh, it's just humans. Like, we're people and we are allowed to express ourselves in the way that we want to. And a lot of even with racism, with misogyny, with all of these things, it really is about meeting people that are different than you and being curious about why they are the way that they are, and understanding that everybody has their own path in life and that we're entitled to that path. Yeah. I think it's pretty huge, just being curious about other people, actually.
Well, for the record, I am a satanic, heart-eating, blood-sucking whore, and I'm here to fuck your man, but also, and ruin your family.
Yes. For the record, yes.
But when I come in contact with people who are not accepting of me, it's because they've been taught that, obviously. Yeah, of course. Boomer generation and like them, like, y'all are getting old, honey, and y'all are not going to be here for too much longer, so I guess do what you can while you're here. But I have faith in Gen Z. Like, I slive for the girls. But it's like people are taught and then like never like challenge themselves or whatever, because it's scary and whatever.
You have a frame that you live in, and if you try to go out of that, it's like, what am I gonna like, what do I do if I start believing that,
but I'm not the one. Like, if you meet me and you're like, you hate trans people, I'm not gonna be there to convince you to not. I'm gonna probably like throw up on you or like take a shit on you, because
that's fair.
That's what happens. Like, I'm just not the bitch to do that. There's tons of lovely trans people out there that are like patient, but I am here to bite the heads off of motherfuckers. Yes.
And a bit of clarification as well, like, there are I'm not saying it's that easy. That comment that I made is, it's there are people that are like that, but oftentimes some people do need to get their heads bitten off. And so there's a balance for sure.
But also at the same time, so like, yeah, like I'm like a demon bitch, but also I didn't talk to my parents for a really long time because they were confused and scared about my queerness. And that was like something that like we needed to separate.
Yeah.
And like I worked on myself and I was like, wait, I'm like fully in my body. I'm like ready to fucking go. Like I finally feel good. Like I find like my body like fits like a nice glove now. Like that's how I feel in me. And then they did work on their end of like on their
whatever they needed to do.
Yeah, they did whatever they needed to do. But then we came together and like things are like way better than before.
Awesome.
And it's like, yeah, it sucks that for us to get there had to be so much hardship and like bullshit and turmoil. But like we ended up getting there. So like I haven't like lost hope. But at the same time, it's like that wasn't easy to do with my parents. Like I don't want the responsibility to do any of that. It's up to cis people.
It technically is, yes. There's nothing that your community, there's nothing that the LGBTQ plus community needs to do to kind of like, it's, you don't have to present yourself to them and be like, look, I'm just a normal person like you. Like this,
but it's
they
also,
should understand.
it's so
that.
crazy. It's like you need to meet
a
a tranny to know that we need respect, or meet a black person to know that they need respect. It's like, do you need to meet us, or do you just need to like?
I think it's
fuck off.
I think it's like 20 to 30% of the population in America is illiterate, so not everybody's that, they don't have the perception to reach beyond what they understand as a human being. So
yes, but also it's like but like how, like, okay, there's an illiteracy rate, yes, but like how, like, what is the connection to hatred though? It's so confusing.
It's taught. It's totally taught. Like
I grew up in Alabama,
so
and
taught.
yeah, like being like a like flaming fag growing up wasn't cute. And like I did get into like it was bad.
Yeah,
let's just say that. But it's also like, I don't know, I've always been like, why the fuck is this kid being so fucking mean to me because I want tits? Like I do not get this. Like that isn't even like I don't fuck with you. You don't have to fuck with me. Let me get my fucking tits, bruh.
At that point, it's pretty simple too. Like you don't even have. It's like just leave me alone.
Yeah.
You don't have to talk to me.
I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
That's okay. Listen, this is a free flowing conversation. We're expressing our, opinions and emotions. So
I was like, oh, I'm gonna like try and be smart during this, and now I've regressed to speaking like a baby.
I the only reason I sound even a little bit. I'm just reading off of I'm just reading off of research that other people did. So, listen, just trying to solve problems one vodcast at a time. It's funny because it's so like around the pandemic I also started doing this, and there are so many. I think there were like over 1 million or something like that. Podcasts started within 2021.
Whoa.
And that was pretty insane. I don't know what I was thinking.
You're following your dream.
Following my dreams. I mean, we're here now, so this is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I don't regret it. Yeah. You getting back to you as an individual and what you
something I actually know something about. Hopefully,
you know so well. You are about to release a project.
Yeah.
This episode is being released in June, and
you
are releasing a project, and it's called She Culture Part 1.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm allowed to say that at this point.
I think so. Okay. I've never told anyone, but yeah.
Oh my gosh. When your people told me, now I'm going to talk about it. So,
yeah, it's my new EP is called She Culture Part 1 because it's in 2 parts.
2 parts. I love that. And what is
Act 1, if you will.
Act 1. I love it. What is different from, like, it's been a little while since you released Tranic Attack. You've progressed a lot as an artist, I'm sure, as an individual. What is going to be new about this? What did it feel like making something at this stage in your career?
So, like, the first project I released, that it was called Tranic Attack because like every song kind of like was the focal point for each song was about a panic attack that I've experienced, like dead ass.
Wow.
So each song was like, I like dealt with terrible anxiety. I'm like so medicated now, which is like sickening. I love my cocktail of peels.
I love that for you.
Yeah, but so yeah, the first album, or excuse me, that was not an album.
EP.
The first EP was like 6 songs, and they were all about panic attacks that I've had, like very, very like intense emotional like moments of mine. And they were like either about like my body or like assault or like my depression or suicidal ideation, blah blah blah, light topics. And then so like that was like I just like had to get that out there. And so like this new project, I've had a little more time to think about it, and I think rather than like like the first project was very like it was like me like pulling things from inside and throwing them out and sticking them on the wall, and this time it's more like I'm responding to things around me so rather than like me working through something like in real time via song, I'm kind of like responding with like thought about things that have happened to me, other people, and it's more of like it's more like a response and like energy towards rather than like spilling my guts out everywhere. It's more like it's pointed. Yeah,
which is beautiful. I love that, and it seems like a natural progression into what you're doing now. And what inspired or how did JK Rowling inspire the title track? I'm so curious about that.
JK Rowling is an idiot. She's like, so basically I like spent 24 hours looking at only transphobic things JK Rowling has said. Wow. Which was great for me.
Your health,
yeah. Sure. So I was like, fuck her, dude. Ugh. And then I don't know, I watched ContraPoints. Do you know what that is on YouTube?
Yes, I know. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm well versed with the sphere of Yes.
So then I watched her videos and tried to understand both sides of the argument, which like her when she was like doing both sides, there weren't 2 sides. Yeah. She was like kind of being like, well, like where did this originate? Like where did her transphobia? I really
love that video.
Yeah, originate for JK Rowling. That being said, I don't really care. Fuck that bitch. And I started writing a song, and it's called She Culture, and it's basically my experience in my trans femininity. And it's where I double down as like a monster, and I'm like, yeah, I am a monster, and yeah, I'm gonna follow you into the locker room, like boo, bitch, kind of vibe. So like, I'm like, what? It's like newsflash: trans people literally hate locker rooms. It's terrifying. It's like we're not like tits, man, God. Like pussies. It's like, let me get in here and get out of here as fast as possible. Hopefully no one sees my fucking dick. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. Exactly. Like, at least that's my experience. But like, so I was like, fuck this. And then like it's like the Olympic conversation, like trans athletes and all this stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is the deal? Yeah. So I just decided to like tackle all of these like kind of like cultural like conversations that are happening right now, and be like, yeah, you're right, I'm gonna kill all of you, and like I'm gonna win the Olympics. So
that's beautiful. I'm gonna win the Olympics. That's beautiful. I love it.
But anyway, it started because like I was like so obsessed with JK Rowling's transphobia, like I couldn't look away, that it just like it made me so fucking angry. And then in the song I'm like, she's gonna come for you, don't look behind you, because it's gonna be me. Like
I can't wait to listen to that.
It's good. It's like actually so good.
I really want. I'm praying for the success of this for sure. Of course, naturally, but also just because I want to see reactions to it. I just want to.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
The other songs in the EP, one of them, I just released Go Bitch, and like so Go Bitch is out now.
Yeah, May 12th. It was out.
So this guy came in my And I was like, oh my God, I wish I could get I wish I could get pregnant this way.
Yeah.
I wish I could have a ghost pregnancy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm going to keep it in me. Which is like I don't know, getting fucked, whether like that's like inherently like trans feminine to me. But so like I had cum in my butt and I wanted it to be there forever, and then I was like, that's not like reasonable. So then I was like, okay, I want to keep having sex with this dude.
Yeah.
But then he was like not getting back to me, and he was starting to like ignore me. And then like through time I found out that like he's like, my friends don't know I hook up with trans people. And that I was like, so you're coming in my ass, but you're too afraid to tell people about it, which is like a tale as old as time. But also I was like, fuck that, I guess I'll write a song about it. I'm so annoyed. So that's what that song's about.
Wow, that's incredible. What let me read this, hold on. Born out of torment, when you hear it, you can't just help but take your own power back.
Did I say that?
I think so. I hope so, because it's in quotations.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess music and writing and performance is how I take my power back from the situation. It's like I'm like annoyed. I'm like, what, dude? Not you coming into my apartment, but like keeping me a secret. Like, you're an asshole. Congrats. Like, also, no one gives a shit if you fuck trans girls. Absolutely like not. I'm like objectively hot, and so are all of us. So like, shut up. Anyway, that's what that song's about. And then my second single is called Big League Chew, and it's about orally castrating. It's about using your mouth to castrate someone's dick off. Or I guess it would be, no, I can't say the word BALLS. I hate that word. It's so disgusting.
All the other words, just that one word.
But yeah, it's about orally castrating some dude, but also like about wanting to castrate myself in a way.
Nice.
But it's upbeat and fun. Yeah.
Sick. I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't wait for it to be released to the public and, you know, for everyone to experience it together. And it's very exciting that it's just so refreshing when somebody's just like, say what, like it is what it is, you know?
Yeah. Also, like, I'm trying to be like fun and cute with my lyrics, but also like, I enjoy like blatant lyrics. Like, it's like, if you have to like think about like, what do you mean? Like, that's fun. I think that's like fun and cool, and like it can bring the listener into you closer. But like, I'm at a place right now, at least for now, where I'm like, no, I'm just gonna say exactly what I feel. Yeah. Exactly. Because like, and like sonically I try and like bring that out as well. It's like, it's bombastic, it's hard hitting, and so are the lyrics, because this is like where I'm at right now. Like, we're not doing hidden meanings and blah 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 blah. Like, that's for straight people.
Do you feel like the music and creating in the way that you do a lot like helps you overcome kind of like some of the difficulties that you're experiencing? And like, do you feel like it kind of, because you said a part of that quote was like, take your own power back. Do you feel like making music allows you to do that kind of stuff? And like, how does that feel? Because I'm sure it feels incredible. Totally.
It's like when I'm like really unwell about something, like I have like terribly intrusive thoughts, like OCD and like terrible anxiety. So when I can kind of write it out and tell like a story, whether or not that story is like based in reality or not, like I'm probably not gonna orally castrate myself, but like it's like when I can write it out, like it just like it makes like it takes the it like takes the monster in my brain and puts it onto a literal piece of paper. So then it's like, okay, no, I'm holding this idea. It's not something that I have to like hold inside. It's like a release. It's like I'm puking it out and like leaving it there kind of vibe. So it feels like it's like therapeutic at its like core. It's like a bit, this is what like this whole musical project is one big therapy session for me to do in front of other people.
It's incredible. And I'm sure people are enjoying the ride thoroughly. So thank you so much for being here and sharing everything that you shared with us. It's really cool to have you here and to actually... actually, that's a story for after that. I'm not going to say it out loud.
What?
It's a story for after. I got you. You all can't hear this story. It's not that serious. But yeah, thank you so much for being here and just being willing to share with us. And it means a lot to me that you were willing to come here. And
thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course.
It was fun.
2 things before you go. One, we already kind of talked about it, but give us some specifics on She Culture Part 1. So like dates of release, stuff like that. Any shows that you got going on maybe around this month, whatever. Like give us your promo. How can we support you? And then the last thing I want you to
You said Venmo?
No. How can we support you? Like, and just, I mean, if you want to give you Venmo, that's also fair. Like, listen, I'm sure the people out there that want to send you money right now. And then last thing is words of wisdom, if you have any for the audience.
Okay. So my first single came out May 12th. Second single is coming out June 23rd-ish or June 16th. I am working on that in real time. Like that's happening now. Those are the first 2 singles, and then the EP will be like late July, early August vibe. I'm going on tour basically. Nice. So I'm going to Philly and then LA, and then I'm back here for a show, and then I'm back in LA, and then I go to Baltimore.
That's so exciting.
For my sweets. That's what this production duo calls themselves. And then I am doing, I don't know if I'm allowed to announce it yet. I think actually I'm not, but I'm doing a festival here in New York.
If we need to cut it out, you just let me know. We got it.
No, don't cut it out. I didn't say it.
Okay, sure.
And then I'm doing like a bunch of Pride shows here in New York.
Nice.
And then like Baltimore, DC, like those areas, the Eastern Seaboard and LA.
That's
so yeah, I'll be in those cities. You can find me on Insta to support. You can Venmo me.
Please. Yeah.
Anyway. Wait, what else?
Words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. I think the thing that has helped me and carried me through this journey so far and what keeps me going is like do the absolute scariest thing possible. Like if it seems too terrifying, that's what you should do. Like obviously don't commit acts of violence or hurt anyone, but like I'm talking about creatively or in terms of creation and art. Like if something seems like too crazy and weird, I think that that's exactly what we need to hear. Yeah. Like as audience, as like a community, like we need people. Like I literally have a song called "Treat Me Like a Toilet," which I was like, oh, I'm ruined in the industry. Like that I like just tiptoed in. Like no, it's like fun, and it's a banger.
Very fun. Amazing. That's great advice, and I'm sure people should take that to heart if you are watching. We need more of that because it's fucking boring out here.
It's boring out here.
It's boring out here. I will say that.
Literally.
So thank you for spicing up everyone's life and bringing the fun into the world. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Our pleasure.
Yay.